Oh, hello all. We're here from the Azonwu residence bringing greetings from all of our family into yours.
Cut! You know how we get down. Now,
We're the Azonwus, and we just created a dope community for everybody. That means if you're single, you might be divorced, you might be married, you might be a parent or a grandparent, all of you. It's for each and every one of you. For those of you that have been asking for poetry guidance,
join the family. For those of you that want hair care guidance,
join the family. For any and all of your relationship concerns and help, join the family. Yo, we cannot wait to connect with y'all. Peace.
My name is Aniya. I am 23 years old and I am a 6th grade English teacher.
Hi, my name is David. I am 25 years old and I'm a pricing analyst.
I'm interested in a guy who is community oriented, confident himself, and who is kind of firm but gentle with what he believes.
I'm interested in a woman who loves the Lord, is beautiful inside and out, and is willing to walk with me through highest of highs and lowest of lows, and someone who is eager to be a bridge between people of different cultures and backgrounds. Hi, how's it going?
Hello, how are you?
David.
So he's Asian. Was not expecting that.
What's your name?
Aniya.
Aniya.
Mhm.
Nice to meet you. Wow, I love her outfit. I love the kind of calm demeanor that she has, and she really has a peaceful, refreshing vibe to her. What is your biggest pet peeve?
Probably smacking. That sounds so like,
Okay.
that's the first one I could think of, like if we're out eating or something like that and like just smacking or something like that.
Yeah.
I think I would be like, okay, can you stop? You know, like I'll probably bring attention to it. But I think that's my biggest pet peeve. What about yours?
Yeah, I think at the moment what I think of is how when people almost make, I wouldn't say promises, they're not necessarily promises, but when they like say things where they're like, oh, I got your back, like, oh, I got you, but then, you know, time and time again, they just don't come through, or you feel like it's just a lot of talk and not follow through with action. So
I feel
that's
that.
probably it for me.
I think my second one would probably be like cancel plans. I can't stand that. Like if you plan something and then it's like, oh, no, can't do it, sorry. And it's like the day of, it's like 2 hours before. It's like, what? But
Bet,
yeah.
I got you.
Let me see. Do you have any spiritual gifts? What are they?
Oh man, spiritual gifts. Oh man, I mean, I definitely am really hospitable, and also there's different times where I feel like God gives me a word, you know, whether it's to encourage individuals or whether, you know, small, like a small group.
Yeah.
So there's times where, you know, I feel like God gives me prophetic words to build up the body. Yeah, those are kind of the main ones that pop into my mind. How about you?
Yeah, I think mine would probably be discernment. That's the one I think I've caught onto myself like the most. Just like the spirit of discernment.
Yeah.
And I think so, like I'm so like investigative, like I like to ask questions and things like that. So when I kind of see something that's just like, I don't know, I just feel like God's giving me like that spirit of like, I don't know, like we need to check that out some more.
Sure.
So probably discernment.
Yeah, definitely. Name a couple of your favorite childhood TV shows.
Childhood TV shows. So I was really like into, well, I'm still really into Disney Channel.
Okay.
So like Disney Plus is like my friend right now. So like That's So Raven. What else? Probably anything Disney, like Cheetah Girls, all the like Kim Possible, probably like a whole bunch of Disney stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I actually didn't have cable growing up, so I did not watch many of those shows on Disney.
Really? So what did you watch?
Well, I don't know if you know him, but I watched there's Arthur. I mean, I don't know. A lot of people know Arthur.
Easy.
And then I got Adventures in the Book of Virtues. I don't know, you ever heard of that one? But they'd like they'd legit just have like a theme for every single episode, and they'd like go through stories from like for that theme or something. So like honesty, Abraham Lincoln, and you know, him chopping down the cherry tree. or was that crap? I would call that wrong. But yeah, they just had different stories, kind of talking about those different themes.
Might need to check it out. Dave and I having cable. That's interesting. I'm wondering if his parents sheltered him and if that could be a problem in relationships. Let me see. This one says, have you ever had any near-death experiences?
Man. Yes, I have. It's funny because or maybe not funny, but ironic,
right?
That during this time, like just everything going on, and I actually think I had this conversation with a friend a little bit about like, man, like, yeah, you never know, to be honest, and it's like kind of sobering, but also, yeah, just crazy when you had maybe, you know, near death experience where you're kind of like, man, like, I really believe, man, God, that you have me here for a purpose. And so when I was in, I think I was in 7th or 8th grade, I don't remember. I was in a car with my brother, sitting in the shotgun, and basically we were going through a 4-way. Like there was a couple lanes of traffic coming one way, and then, you know, there's traffic going the other way, and we were going to make a left, and as we were going that way, we got T-boned by a drunk driver, and the car spun a couple times and ended up, like, you know, rolling up on the sidewalk. And so the door was all messed up, like, you know, thankfully me and my brother were okay. The car actually didn't have airbags either, so it was an old car. It was like goodness. 90, I don't even remember, yeah, I think early 90s. Or maybe late 80s, but I don't remember. So that was near-death experience that I had. But do you have any?
When I was like really little, I almost drowned. So it was kind of one of those things where it was like you at the pool with your cousins and your family, whatever, and it's like, oh, you can swim. And I'm like, I cannot swim. So like, oh, you're fine. Just, and you know, when they like, oh, just throw you in the deep end, I really could not swim. And like I'm in the pool and they just like throw me in.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I don't remember it fully because I was like 4 or 5 or somewhere in there. But I just remember somebody pulling me out, and I was like, and my body felt so heavy, like so full of water base. Like I was probably very, very near. But yeah, that's probably the only thing that's happening. Like ever since then, like I've never like broken a bone, never like in a car accident. Like nothing's ever really happened ever since then. So
dang, that's crazy.
It is.
That's crazy. So we're gonna kind of shift gears and have a couple of heavier questions for you. So I'll start, and then you can ask whatever questions you may have too. So,
is it more important for a man to be financially stable or emotionally in tune?
Have you been to therapy yet? Why or why not?
It makes you really look in yourself and answer questions that are really intrapersonal, and I think a lot of times we as guys don't do that. So
I can definitely see myself playing this game with somebody that I'm interested in, just to, you know, see what their head is like, what they think about certain topics and dating in general.
Would you be okay with your fiance asking you not to wear certain items because he believes they're not modest?
I think yes. I think it would depend on his approach with it. Like if he's just like, okay, don't wear that. Like we finna go here, don't do that. Then it's like, whoa, you know? But if it's like genuinely like, I think that outfit probably shows a little bit too much, and it's like, okay, I'll probably take that into consideration. But if he's like being really like aggressive or mean about it, then I'm probably gonna be like, okay, what are you doing? But that's probably done.
So it's not about the what, it's about the how.
Yeah, like how he presents it. And that's, I feel like it'll change the gears on it.
Sure, yeah.
So this one says, would you be okay with sharing your sexual history with someone you're seriously dating?
Yes, definitely. I feel like, of course it depends where or what stage of the relationship we're in, but I feel like if you're really going to, you know, get to know somebody intimately, you know, whether it's before marriage or, you know, down the road when you guys are really committed.
Yeah.
I feel like it's necessary too, just so that, for one, I think it gives people space to grow together. But I also think that it allows for, each person to kind of understand what the other person has gone through, and kind of, maybe how that's affected their relationship to this point.
Yeah.
So I definitely think so. What about you?
Yeah, I think I would be okay with sharing. I'm a pretty open person anyway. And so I think if I'm like with someone that I'm seriously dating and this is seriously something like we're considering taking the next step, I definitely feel like that would be a conversation that needs to be had. And I would feel okay with opening up. So
Cool. Here's one for you. You're married. You see your husband's internet history has pornographic content. How do you address it?
How would I address it? I think I would try to come as like gentle as possible, I guess would be the word. Like, because obviously there's something going on that like you feel like that you have to hide this, to where I had to like find it about it for myself. So I'm just like, okay, I'll probably come to him gentle about it. Like, okay, well, this is what I found. Like, give him a chance to explain, kind of have his thoughts out, and just genuinely listen to him. But yeah, I'll probably definitely be in shock.
Yeah, I love the response that she's given. It really, really takes a lot to be able to show grace and love, but also, figure out how to navigate that situation.
So I hope like I would genuinely actually do that, but I think I would try to come as gentle as possible about the situation, so that he'll be open enough to really explain to me like what's really going on.
Yeah, definitely.
What about you?
For me, I mean, I think it'd be similar. I also think there's a level of, it's how do you say it with grace, compassion, but also I think truth that, our relationship, at this point, our marriage, can't have this as something that's embedded there, because it's gonna kill it. So, a lot of grace, a lot of compassion. Also, I think a firmness that's like, what's happening, and how do we walk through this together? So that's what I would say.
Yeah, I like that. This one says, do you have a hard time with forgiveness? Why or why not?
I would say no. Partly because of a lot of the stuff that I've been through in my life. And so whether it was forgiving, close friends who hurt me when I was younger, or just having some powerful encounters with God in college regarding, forgiving, just and letting people go, or letting that offense and that kind of, like you owe me feeling, and letting that go during college and such. And so, definitely it's not easy, but it's something that I feel like I've walked through a good amount of times. And I kind of feel like even in a relationship and marriage, you kind of you have to be willing, but at the end of the day, like, you're gonna constantly have things that y'all are both gonna be offended by one another, or things that are said and things that are done. So like, you're just trying to constantly tear down those walls. So that's what I would say. What about you?
I think I don't have a hard time with forgiveness. Like, I probably am the most forgiving person out of all my friends, probably to a fault.
Okay.
And so I've been trying to almost like dial back, not on forgiveness, but just like really like how you say, like taking the time to go through like the situation and stuff like that. I'm just like, okay, well, like, is this something that like I've actually thought about, like gone through, to where it's like, okay, I can actually forgive you and let this go, and not just be passive about it.
It's really interesting what she's saying about not having a problem about forgiveness.
Yeah, I don't think I have a hard time with it.
It's like we both said that, so
You're right,
we'll still like.
But I have to make sure I'm not passive as well. I think is what I'm trying to find out.
Yeah, I got you. I think we'll have to see when things come up how she'd be able to handle it in the moment. So I got another heavy one for you.
Oh goodness. Okay, I'm ready.
After the honeymoon experience, you're underwhelmed and disappointed. Do you A, stay silent and be grateful? B, tell a brother in the Lord to give him tips and advice? Or C, tell him it wasn't good and explain why?
Ooh, okay. I think I would do a mixture of C and B, honestly.
Of C
like,
and B.
like I think at first I would discuss it. Cause I feel like at the end of the day, like it's between me and that person anyway, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
So it's if we wanted to grow and wanted to fix and we're here, we can't get divorced, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I would want it to get better, hopefully. And so I would talk to them about it, just like have an open, honest conversation. But, you know, depending, then I might, you know, bring in a witness or two, you know what I'm saying? But I think I would have an open, honest conversation at first. So, yeah.
What? That's really, really interesting that she's saying that she would tell a brother about what has been happening in the bedroom, because it seems like something that should be strictly between us.
We're gonna finally do this intimacy challenge. On one side of the card, it's more relating to mental intimacy of the mind, and on the other side of the card, it's more relating to physical intimacy, the body.
You're a good friend to me because what is missing in our relationship?
One thing that I really want for us is
saying I'm putting my phone down, make it clear I'm putting my phone down because I want to focus on you.
I got you.
What about you?
Yeah, for me, I think it has to be C for me. You know, telling her that it was good and explain why. Because I just feel like with B, it's like it's between us two, and I'm just like, it's kind of weird to be like, yo, so sis over here, like,
that's funny.
Well, wasn't working, and so I feel like it had to be C for me, and just having I think a gentle conversation on like I mean there's that's what I say.
Okay, this one says, have you been to therapy yet? Why or why not?
Yes and no, because yes, because I've gone to sessions that people might consider like, oh, this is me kind of talking through a lot of different things that I'm going through, things that I have on my mind, and working through those things, and kind of almost having like a time that's set apart during this session for people that kind of help me walk with God and unpack those things together. So to an extent, yes, but
like
in terms of like a professional counselor, no, I have not. But it's interesting because in this season, I've kind of really had a lot of different conversations with a lot of different friends, and also, I mean, had a great conversation with a licensed clinical social worker, kind of regarding self-care and mental health, but that was kind of in the context of not my life, and it was more so in the context of a podcast that I'm working on. So
so no therapy. I'm a big proponent of therapy, so I wonder if that's something that he would be more open to. So do you think you would go or no?
I think, I mean, I definitely would be open to it, and at some point, I think, just knowing that it is, I think, something that's very helpful and something that God has, placed in the world for, people to actually get help from. And like, I've had a lot of friends who've been like, man, like, therapy and counseling has been like really, really beneficial, so definitely I would be down.
Yeah.
What about you?
So I currently go to like therapy, counseling, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's been super beneficial. So I tell all my friends like, no, go to therapy, go to counseling, like do it.
For sure.
But yeah, so I think it's super beneficial. I'm super duper like open to it and stuff like that. So
yeah, definitely.
Okay, this one says, do you pay tithes? Why or why not?
Yes, I do.
Why do you think about it like that?
There's a lot going on in my life, and I can't really talk about it too much, just in terms of just seeking the Lord for direction in my life regarding life, career, as well as faith and kind of church.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on there, but yes,
almost same with the finding, or at least a church home now, since I'm in Dallas. Like, that's been my only setback to paying tithes now.
Right.
But when I was like in like Memphis, my hometown, and I was faithfully in church, and I was definitely paying tithes, I'm definitely a proponent of like,
for sure,
you should pay tithes.
No, definitely. I feel like for tithes, it's just like you're giving to God what's like already His. It's like,
literally,
so
live it.
Yeah.
So we have these signs. One says grow and stay. The other one says not today. So on the count of 3, you can see what she says. So 1, 2, 3.
Hey.
Nice. No, I love
stuff.
it.
Yeah, I chose grow and stay because I feel like this amount of time is a pretty short amount of time to try and connect with somebody. And unless there's, certain red flags or something, I feel like, it'd be good to continue trying to connect and grow.
I chose grow and stay because I really liked our conversation, and I love to talk and communicate, and I feel like that's important in a partner. And so the fact that our conversation just flowed naturally, I definitely feel like he was somebody I could grow and stay with and see where it goes. So when I saw that he chose grow and stay as well, I really liked that because I feel like we were on the same thought process and as far as communication and how we want our relationships to go.
Yeah, she chose the same thing, and I think that we definitely had a good banter and vibe going on, and so I definitely, would love to see how we can continue connecting, and hopefully she, would like to connect more as well.